You're a very busy individual at the races.
Yeah.
But your team has seen quite the success this year.
Yes.
So you got rookies, you got defending champions, you got it all. So how do you handle all that in one? How do you juggle it?
Everybody's personality is different. Doesn't matter whether it's the rider, mechanic, and everything. So you have to try to figure out how their personality works and then go along with it. Sometimes I'm not the easiest person to get along with though. So, but all in all, I mean, everybody's different. I actually made a joke with Michael this morning. I bet him that if he fell, he had to pay me $100. For every time he fell this year, he had to pay me $100. But every time that he didn't fall, I gave him $1. So he had a chance of earning $4 every weekend, and I had the chance of making $400. And I figured that the way his salary and my salary is, it pretty much equaled out to a penny a piece. But now it's good. Jordan, being a rookie, trying to keep him calm and understand, like, it's different from amateurs. It's a lot different. And then, Zach, we're probably too close of friends, so it's a little bit harder sometimes. Jason has been around since I've been here, so I mean, Jason's personality is completely different than everybody else's. And then you have Dean, which wish you well, Dino. He's not here because of his ACL that he just had fixed, and his personality is out in another field. So I mean, everybody's personality is different on this truck, which is kind of a cool thing to work with, because you never run into the same thing twice.
Yeah, that's one thing I know from working in the industry, and I see these guys. But your truck, the vibe here is really nice and mellow, and that doesn't discount how serious you guys are. But
no, we're serious. Like, we obviously have a job to do, and that's to win races and try to bring home championships. But in the same sense, if you're too serious and you're too uptight, the vibe isn't good. Like, everybody has to try to be relaxed and just have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, we're racing dirt bikes. We're not putting men on the moon, and that's what we all grew up doing and loved doing, was doing that. And sometimes you have to take that mentality to racing too.
And I mean, your path to where you're at, did you ever think you'd be standing on the podium with the Husqvarna team winning the first Supercross championship?
No,
450?
Never would have thought it. Never would have thought any of them championships. Since I've been here, I never would have thought it would have been an option. I mean, I know we have the talent and the riders, but I mean, like, you got to think there's one guy in every class every year that wins it, and for us to do it, 3 with Zach and 1 with Jason, it's pretty gnarly. Think about it.
Yeah. And I guess for you, like, to bring the people into your world, like, is race day really hectic for you, or is it the prep to the race day?
I would say both. I mean, coming in, trying to make sure that you have everything and whatnot, and I mean, we're all human, we make mistakes. I mean, sometimes we forget stuff, or, try not to, obviously. We have lists and whatnot, but then even with all that said, there's still times where we have, Bobby trying to make it think I'm a jackass, or that's the politically correct thing I'll say.
That's what Mohead did to me. I was
See, the fun, But Bob's only here for logistics and team morale, just so we get that out there in public for everybody.
Thanks.
So, I mean, race days are more hectic for me because I get worked up myself, which I probably shouldn't, but I do. I get worked up on a lot of things. Just, I mean, those bikes have to make it around the track, and at the end of the day, if they don't, it falls back on me, in a sense. So, knock on wood, everything's been really good. So.
Yeah, and you guys had your moment of disaster in Salt Lake. I mean, that had to be a huge, tough weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the naysayers and all the keyboard warriors out there that don't understand. All I gotta say is this: you can't put yourself ever in that situation. I don't care how many times you practice it, and we practice them at the shop just so everybody knows. And like, until you're under that pressure and under that gun, you have no idea. So anybody can say what they want, and it's not as easy as you think. So just so everybody can clearly hear that.
Yeah, and we actually put up an article that broke it down, and it wasn't long.
No,
it was not a long wheel change,
No.
but I mean more so even speaking on just the luck of everything and how a lot of things have to come together, I think, to win a championship.
No,
obviously,
for sure.
But you guys overcame the worst of it too when you needed to, which is pretty impressive.
I mean, that's why we're like our team. Like we all bond. Like even when at the lows and the highs, it doesn't matter. Our attitude's always the same. And if anybody tells us any different, I would argue with them for the fact. And if anybody doesn't ever feel welcome over here, I will argue with that as well, because, dude, come on over. Like, we are not afraid to talk or hang out or whatever. The only times where we get a little is like if somebody's working on a bike and then you have people that are trying to talk at the same time. That's the only time we get a little upset. But other than that, I mean, we try to make it as fun as possible.
Yeah, and then I guess, do you have advice for, like, say a young rider, he's up and coming, wants to be a top pro? What kind of attitude do you think carries these guys?
Humble. Be humble. Be as humble as you can be. Don't think that you're going to come in and kill it, because those riders are very few and far between. And we use Zach, for example, at 28 years old, and, you know, Zach's been around a long time and over in Europe and back, and how long it took him. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys are on a roll. You got to be happy to be outdoors, and I guess
happy to be outdoors. It's a little bit change of pace, you know. But I mean, we'll see what today brings. I think today will be good for sure.
Cool, man. Well, enjoy it. Thanks for the time.
Thanks.